it's another day to welcome Chukwudi Okolie Abuja to newspaper review segment. And good morning, Adira. It's good to see you again, Chukwudi.
Same here, but don't elongate my weekly, chores. It's the last day to welcome Chukwudi Okolie Abuja this week. Mary, how are you doing?
Very well.
Hello,
good to
Victor.
See you.
Good morning. The prince is on duty again. I envy his skills.
Thank God
I
it's
have
Friday.
to confess. Yes.
All right, let's take a look at the papers quickly. Let's begin with the Daily Times this morning. The Daily Times newspaper leads with Tinubu approves 20 billion naira for NASTA to launch space regulation and licensing. And away from that, we have PDP rejects Edo Guba Tribunal judgment. NCAA cracks down on airlines over denied boarding deportation of Nigerian passengers. All of that on page 11 if you want to find out the details. And we have senators, reps must account for constituency budgets. That's according to Femi Falana. And that's on page 12. Above the masthead, we have senatorial recall. Natasha thanks INEC for upholding justice. Shetima returns today after attending Senegal's 65th independence anniversary. And finally, in the red strip at the bottom of the front page of the Daily Times, we have over 20 killed in Plateau villages in a week. That's according to some community leaders. Not a good one. We'll look away from that now. Let's see the blueprint. The blueprint leads with Edo Kano leaders have brokered peace over Oromi massacre. That's according to the defense headquarters. The riders warns against sentiments, reprisal attacks. Dismisses report of Niger Republic withdrawal from MNJTF, says Bello Tuji's days numbered. Above that, we have this headline credited to Governor Idris. We have discovered petroleum deposit in Kebbi. Interesting. That's on page 9. Above the masthead, NCAA vows sanction against airlines over deportation of Nigerians. And looking below now, we have, of course, the Natasha story, also right here. Looking away from all of that, we have Rivers Administrator holds tenders procurement processes, and that's on page 7. The Plateau killings is also right here, but captioned differently here. It says, gunmen attack Bokas villages, kill 10. That's also on page 10 of the blueprint. And finally, we have in a green strip, our rights condolences of those wishing me dead. That's credited to Wiki. And that's on page 7. Victor.
All right. Thank you, Yenre. I have a Leadership Friday. And the lead story here reads, Multinational Joint Task Force. Niger's exit will have security implications, DHQ warns. That story is on page 4 with a number of riders. Vows to eliminate terrorist kingpin Turji. Refutes claims of troops' welfare. Not sure what that means. Bandits kill 12 farmers, 10 others in Sokoto Plateau. Okay, and just towards the bottom of the front page of the Leadership, bandits fed us weekly, used us as shield. That's according to General Seeger, former boss of the NYC. That's on page 10. And beside that story, you have INEC rejects petition to recall Natasha. That's on page 7. And the tiny strips just above the nameplate. Lagos pensioners give Sanwo-Olu 14-day ultimatum. Lagos pensioners give Sanwo-Olu 14-day ultimatum. And global AI markets to reach $4.8 trillion. That's on page 2. Chukwudi, just before you come in, okay, world leaders condemn Trump's tariffs. It's on page 7.
Yes, our own Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has spoken finally on the matter. You know, when Trump goes on the rampage, as he usually does, the best thing is to stay on the sidelines and watch. But she has spoken up. Georgina, I think IMF has also joined in speaking up. But then Trump would always be Trumpian and Trumpish. Let's see how it works out. 25% on vehicle importation, and then varied percentages across countries. I think Britain got 10%. China is getting how many now? 54, 64? I've even lost calculation. Anyway, the experts are saying that this does not augur well for the global economy, in the long run. But we pray that they could. Trump has a way of
short term.
Yes, Trump has a way of doing things. He could actually make this a bargaining chip. They might eventually settle for 5%, 2%.
But that's what he's doing.
That is exactly how.
That's what he's doing.
He's easily predictable.
He's now looking for those, come and negotiate.
Exactly. He took street trading into the White House. Let's see how it works out for the Americans.
I was watching an interview of him while he was much younger. These ideas were the same.
He's always been like. In fact, I relaxed my criticism of Trump when I found out that this man at 78
now.
78 is being true to Trump of 34, 35. He's same person.
Exactly.
So he's real.
Oprah.
Give it to him. I'm not one of his fans, but I have to say the way it is. He believes in what he's doing. But if he does that, that means he's been his own economist. From what do the experts think? Maybe contrary to what you have always had as a personal conviction. Those things need to be interrogated. Niger's exit will have security implications. That's coming from the DHQ. Remember that the MNJTF, otherwise known as the Multinational Joint Task Force, otherwise known as MNJTF, was formed by Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, to ensure that cross-border crimes are checked and all that. I don't think we need to lose any sleep over whether Niger would withdraw or not. If Niger withdraws, it's going to be against them. It's going to be to their own detriment. It is one cooperation that needs synergy, whether even with
everybody suffers.
You need
Nigeria,
exactly. It's a security post. You need me, I need you.
It's an ill wind that will blow no one good.
Exactly, insecurity is an ill wind, really. So let's not lose too much sleep over that. The sad thing, almost horrifying, is that 20 villagers were killed in Plateau State in just 1 week. When I was in Jos, the allegation then was that Governor Jonah Jang is intransigent. He wouldn't negotiate with anybody. He wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. I said, look, these things are not individually based in terms of what was... The fundamental reasons for what is happening there have to be tackled. It's not about an incumbency or an incumbent. Look at what is happening now under Mufwang. So let them go out to learn how to live, in peaceful coexistence. That is the only way out. I pray that they will forge a way, because good old Plateau, my dear, is a wonderful place to be in.
Home of
you
peace.
Live your life. You are not looking at what Nyere would say about the shoes you have on, or what Victor would say about the cap I have on my head. Everybody is simple. That's Plateau. May God help them come back to...
The Natasha Gates looks like we'll have something else by next week, at least some other stories.
It was a non-starter. It was a cheap political move. This Natasha matter, my people say, if you don't know how to...
If you're talking about Natasha, be specific of the Natasha you're talking about.
Natasha Akpoti Uduaga.
Okay, because there's another Natasha in the news.
Oh, there's another Natasha. Okay, so it was a non-starter. And I was saying that if you don't know how to, it's not mourn. I don't know the meaning of Igobu, or the English equivalent of that word. But what they are saying is that if you don't know how to handle the death of a death you caused, it will later become a case of the person you killed, now ruling your life. For once, I am at my wit's end over what to substitute. Okay.
I sympathize with you.
Thank you, my dear. So Natasha should never have happened. The so-called recall moves. It was stupid. I'm sorry, but it was childish. And of course, it was out of bad blood. First of all, I still don't agree with the Nigerian Senate that Natasha should go on how many months suspension?
6 months.
That's killing a fly with a sledgehammer. But I'm one of those who would ask you, did Natasha impugn Senate rules? Because that's where it all started from. But somehow it was not handled properly. And now we have a conflagration. That's what's happening. Men should not let ego, rule their actions.
I think politicians will sort themselves out.
Oh, they always will. I think she'll be recalled before the 6 months. That's my prediction.
All right.
Yes.
Many thanks, Chukudi. I hear that we do not have, more time to go further with, some of the headlines.
We've
Thank
said
you.
enough.
But yeah, thank you so much. By the way, you said this is the last day for the week for you?
Okay. Not my last
Monday.
Last day on the
Monday is just around the corner. By the way, so we'll see you. We'll see you on Monday.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you,
You too. Thank you.